Good afternoon, guys. It's Chris here at the Engine Room. So this is a summary of my first week's worth of videos to explain the next stages with our programming. Okay, so in summary, the first thing that's really important that we get across to you guys is we're changing the system to a progressive overload training system. All that means, guys, is basically when we're in the strength block that we're going to try and aim for you to complete 4 sets of 8 repetitions. Once you've completed that 4 sets of 8 repetitions at a specific weight that you'll be unique to you, that then you can progress that overload by 5% on the given weight. So for example, if you manage 4 sets of 8 at 100 kilos, the next time you train those muscle groups, you would increase it to 105 kilos. If on the other hand, you did 3 sets of 8 reps, and 1 set of 6, you would stay at that same weight for the next workout until you completed the 4 sets of 8. Okay, so that's what's known as the progressive overload system. We really would love you guys to embrace bringing some kind of phone or notebook or some way of recording down the numbers that you hit in that strength element of the workout so that you can see your own rate of progress. The coaches are here, guys, to help you with your technique, your form, make sure that you're taking the right rest periods, advise you on the next weight that you should use. These are all examples of what our coaches do here at the Engine Room. We've decided kind of, as a gym, that us recording those weights down for you is pretty useless, guys, and a bit of a waste of our time. When there can be 4 to 6 people in a session, makes much more sense that you own that part of the process and we own the part of just, being there as a coach, so to speak. The next thing I want to talk about, guys, is intensity of that progressive overload programming. So it's really key, if this system's going to work for you and you to get the absolute best out of this next training block, is that we use what we call a -1 system, meaning that when you complete your 8 repetitions, that you could probably complete 1 more full repetition, okay, in each set. So that gives you a bit of a guide in terms of intensity. If you could complete 2, 3, 4 more reps each set, you will easily complete the 4 sets of 8, and therefore you will easily be able to increase the weight. If you so you're trying to get as close as you can to that 8 reps. You'll probably have 3.5-ish minutes rest in between each set. And in terms of strength training, it's recommended, the guidelines say that you should have between 2 to 5 minutes rest, okay? So that's variable for everybody, but we're sticking it at around that 3.5-minute mark. So you'll complete 1 exercise and then subsequently another exercise, and then every 4 minutes, you'll start another set in that first part of the training block. But we'll be here as coaches to help you and explain when you should start. And I just want to talk a little bit about mobility and activation, which is the first part of our workout, which is the first thing you're going to do when you're coming here to the Engine Room, the first part of your warm-up. The first part is mobility. So just to explain that in the most simple form, you're trying to do those exercises very slowly and feel how the joints are feeling that you're going to use and prepare yourself for the lifting element of the training. So that part should be done really slowly and with a lot of intention. There shouldn't be any speeding up of the movement during the point at where you do mobility. In fact, you should be trying to slow things down as much as you can and feel within that joint or that body part where feels tight, and use your breathing, guys. So as you perform exercises, try to breathe out and make sure you're trying to optimize the maximum range of movement when you do those mobility drills. We'll be here as coaches to give you more nuanced ideas and thoughts about how to perform them, but just try and keep the mobility slow. You'll then move into activation. So a good analogy we've come up for muscle activation, guys, is that as you perform a muscle activation, again, rather than doing it quickly, think about if you had a flannel that was full of water and you were trying to get that water out of the flannel. You'd squeeze it. Maybe the first time when you cleared it out, you wouldn't get rid of all the water. So you might reconfigure it, squeeze it another way until you've got all of that water out. That's the same thing with muscle activation, guys. So we want you to perform the movement. So you'll perform the movement, you'll do it with an overload, which quite possibly will be a band or your body weight. And then each time you perform it, you need the mind connection to that muscle, okay? That's the intention. So if you connect the mind muscle to the movement with the overload, that's where you'll really start to fire up the muscles and you'll reduce the risk of injuries and you'll get more out of your strength training. Any questions, guys, please feel free. Fire us back an email. Ask us a question in a session or catch us before or after one of the sessions here at the Engine Room. But I really look forward to this next block of training with you guys, which starts in just the next couple of weeks. So like I say, any questions, fire through those emails.